Hey guys, welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're gonna do something slightly different. We're gonna be discussing endgame in Warframe, we're going to be discussing rewards, and we're also gonna be discussing potential raids, past and future raids in Warframe. Now these are some hot topics, so let me start off on the following note. If you're looking for something negative, one of those, oh no, Warframe is dying, how terrible pieces, this is not one of those. Back to the topic at hand. From my objective point of view, or as objective as I possibly can be, Warframe is a pretty successful game, or has been up until this point, and I don't see why it couldn't be going forward. I say that simply because it has been around a pretty long time. Everybody and their mom heard about Warframe. Most players, or a lot of players, have played Warframe at a certain point. And granted, it's not one of the most popular free-to-play games out there, but it's definitely one of the most unique free-to-play game experiences. But it always struggled with one aspect, even when I started back 3 years ago or something like that. There is no real endgame in Warframe. There's a lot of collection in Warframe, however. You collect mods, you collect Warframe, you collect weapons, you collect companions, name it, we collect it. We max them out through grinding. Grind, like the leveling kind. And there's no outlet for all of that. Dude, check me out right now. All these powerful suits, Warframes, all these powerful weapons maxed out with prime mods, ribbons, you name it. Hell, I even 24 mod my Cavet for no goddamn reason so I can have 0.002 DPS extra. And where's the outlet for all of that? There is no outlet, sadly. And that has been an issue for quite the while. Now, once upon a time, Warframe did have raids. That project, however, or that specific type of raid or raids were scrapped from the game. Now, I dug just a little bit into this topic because I was curious why did they scrap raids, and apparently everybody has their own version as to why the developer chose to remove raids from Warframe. From what I can tell, they wanted something a bit more simpler to maintain, something a bit more streamlined, and raids were difficult to balance. All valid reasons, definitely, which is why today we have Eidolon hunting. For a good amount of time, I considered, or I felt like Eidolon hunting was a form of endgame. And I know you're gonna jump on my head and say, "Pah, dude, so easy about gameplay, brah." I'm aware of that, but it wasn't always that easy. It wasn't always this easy. There was a time when you had to have a very specific setup in order to be effective at Eidolon hunting, which is why the prices for arcanes used to be a whole lot higher than they actually are. That also, nowadays, we kind of get events that see the rewards from Eidolon hunting being brought to these events, which are a whole lot more easier to grind out and obtain. Now, that said, I'm not saying that raids in their old form should definitely come back to Warframe, because even back then, apparently, some players liked it, and some players disliked it, so it wasn't like it was a smash hit or something and the developer decided to call it quits. So that begs the question, how would raids look in Warframe? How would that happen? I played Destiny for about 40 to 50 hours, and the reason why I played Destiny was simply because I wanted to see how raids work in a third-person shooter with powers, superpowers, and ninja abilities or whatever else. And I gotta be honest, my first 10 hours with Destiny were horrible, simply because everything was so slow. Everything was so slow, I felt I had sand in my boots. I couldn't bullet jump anywhere, I kept pressing the wrong buttons. It felt like a standard shooter with a couple of abilities, you know? Compared to Warframe, it was a rather underwhelming initial experience. Eventually, my friends took me to raids because I said, "Hey guys, you wanted me to play Destiny? Here I is, take me to your raid leader." And I did a couple of raids, and I gotta be honest, it was awesome. Okay, it was an awesome experience, I loved it. The problem is, I only loved the raids and that's it. Nothing about Destiny I really liked except for those raids. I would love to see something like that in Warframe. And when I say something like that, raids as they are in Destiny will not work in Warframe, not one-to-one, definitely not. I see raids in Warframe as being something a lot more dynamic, because we can be a whole lot more dynamic. Jumping all over the place, gliding, latching to walls, maybe staying on some movable platforms where every 10 seconds you get a bump into the air and you gotta manage landing on another one because then the other one disappears. You know how you do those Lua challenge rooms? Something like that. Something where we get to use all of the mobility that our Warframes provide, the extra advantages that Warframe has over normal third-person shooters, and translate that into a challenging, skill-based, dear D, in case you're listening, skill-based encounter with bosses. How awesome would that be? Think about it. And if I am to take a cue from World of Warcraft, then you know what I will, because in World of Warcraft I played some of the best boss encounters ever, and I'm talking about the old World of Warcraft. I don't know what's going on today in it. But you could have melee phases and range phases. Think about it, right? You have melee phases, you have range phases, you get to use all the tricks, all the power in your arsenal as an outlet. I think that would be amazing. How hard would that be to actually execute? I do not know. I am not a developer. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that easy. But all of this at this point is nothing more than my own wet dream. So let's focus on what the developer is actually doing as a form of content. And it looks like they're insisting on Railjack, or partly insisting on Railjack. And I gotta ask, do you guys like Railjack? No, honestly, do you like Railjack? How do you feel about Railjack? This is such a polarizing topic, I feel, and I also feel like I'm in the minority on this one. I like Railjack. I enjoy playing spaceships with my friends and being the captain of the ship, or the gunner, or teleporting, or being shot to enemy ships and destroying them from within. I think it's cool, and upgrading it with shields and guns. And did I mention guns? There's like a big gun, then there's like littler guns, and it's really cool. I think it's so cool and fun. But every goddamn time I try to convince my buddies, hey guys, let's play Railjack, you don't want to see the reaction I get. They either like, oh yeah, Laser, I gotta, my feed is crying. Honestly, they like scramble to get out of there. Maybe it's personal, who knows. So please, for all intents and purposes, my friends, do you like Railjack? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, I can't exactly blame them for not wanting to play Railjack. Not everybody loves spaceships and space battles and stuff, and at the end of the day, Warframe wasn't necessarily about spaceship battles per se. It was kinda in space in a future, but not about space battles. And why would you do Railjack anyway, What are the rewards for Railjack nowadays? Not a lot. Thankfully though, the Call of the Tempestari update will see Corpus Liches essentially being molded in with Railjack, kinda. But more importantly than that, I have a question. My general feel for this community, for the Warframe community, from doing vids, being a content creator, interacting with people, doing streams 4 days a week, is that a good portion, if not a majority, of the community does not like Railjack. That's the feel I get from the Warframe community. It's not a very popular thing to do, or a agreeable activity, if you will. If that's really the case, then why are you insisting on Railjack? Why are you incentivizing Railjack? Are you actively encouraging your community to participate in an activity they don't like? I'm not sure on that one. I'm a bit fuzzy on the details because this was always my counter-argument to endurance runs. Why would you incentivize a community to do something which is inherently boring? The answer to that is, of course, these endurance runs were always optional. You don't get anything fancy for them, which is why it doesn't really matter all that much. But back on topic, perhaps Call of the Tempestari will fix everything wrong with Railjack, quote unquote wrong with Railjack, and make it popular? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. If history is any indication, no Warframe update has ever fixed everything. They fix 5 things and they break 7 things, but that's okay, that's the way of development. And this brings me nicely to rewards. What kind of rewards would you guys like to see in Warframe? And again, I'm gonna borrow from Destiny and I'm gonna borrow from World of Warcraft as well. What makes my motor go is not necessarily power. I don't want to see more arcanes. I don't want to see more powerful mods and so on and so forth. What I want to see is variation. What I want to see is cosmetics, status symbols, if you will. For example, a very cool ephemera that you can only get by beating boss XYZ or something like that, or perhaps an attachment set, a color palette that you can show off to your friends, perhaps even a Warframe or a weapon, but it's important for them not to be the most powerful of. If you're gonna have a raid system, if it's gonna be skill based, you can't hide the best Warframe or the best weapon behind one of these encounters. You can hide something slightly better, a bit better even, because at the end of the day, you need to give that player a convincing reward, and not everybody will be satisfied with cosmetics like I am. I would just be satisfied with cosmetics, color palettes, attachments, skins for weapons, for your Warframe, for your landing craft, you name it. Cosmetics, absolutely bloody insane. Never really cared about glyphs or emblems though, so bear that one in mind. Those seems kind of like low-key, low effort. And don't get me wrong, DRD, but when you bring out the emblems and the glyphs as a reward, it just feels a little bit cheap. So bear that one in mind. Well, my friends, those are my 2 cents. Let me know in the comment section down below, what incentives would get your motor going? Do you just need more power? Do you just need more weapons, more warframes, more of everything? Or would you be satisfied with something cosmetic, something of a status symbol that would show that, hey, that guy, yeah, you see that guy in the next to the thing eating the burger? Yeah, that guy did that boss on hard mode. You know how I know that? Look at that purple glowy phoenix laying eggs around him. That's how I know. This is basically what I'm getting at. And tell me, how would Warframe raids look to you? Because watching Destiny and playing through Destiny raids made me realize how much better they could be in Warframe. More complex, more interesting, more fun, more dynamic, you name it. They could be so much better in Warframe. And I could ramble on and on about what I would like to see from raids in Warframe, but it's more important what you think. So let us know in the comment section down below. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye!